So hi people. Today I'm going to talk about something that a lot of my friends and relatives know a lot that I like to teach. Uh, that's one of my hyperfixation, and some of my subscribers too, and some of my followers on Instagram knows about this too. And I'm going to teach for some of you because I think this is pretty useful and at the same time pretty interesting. Like, you actually learn a lot from it. And this theory comes from a psychologist named Carl Jung. And he talks about our cognitive function, our cognitive abilities to interact and respond to the world. So, you can correct me if I'm wrong, do some things. Maybe I'm not really good at one thing, I didn't understand well a certain concept. Just tell me. I'll be hearing what you have to say. Um, doesn't mean I'm gonna change it. It depends. It depends. It depends on the situation. So yeah, we're gonna start by establishing what are those cognitive functions. So Jung believed, uh, he believed that we have 8 cognitive functions, and 4 of them are introverted, and 4 of them are extroverted. 4 of them are judging types, the other are perceiving types. So I'm gonna divide. I'm gonna make a grid. Okay. I will divide by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 8. Okay. Here, in this part, we're gonna have the judging types. And here we'll have the perceiving cognitive function. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna just. Okay. The judging type, if I understood well, this part I don't know if I understood it well, but this part it's about how you judge the world. What are your lens to see the world? How do you tend to see it? Do you tend to see other possibilities? Do you tend to uh, go a lot about your feeling, what you're feeling in the moment? So yeah, it's a lot about or thinking or feeling. So we're gonna, 2 of them are feeling cognitive function and 2 of them are thinking cognitive function. Every cognitive function that I'm talking to you, you're gonna use it at any moment, okay? Everyone uses them, but you will have a different order of priority, and you will tend to use some more than others. I'm gonna explain to you later. There's like a system of balance. So some that you use, you will renounce to another in the choice or the moment, obviously. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to divide 2 thinking and 2 feeling. I'm going to represent by T and F. I'm going to put it here, the initials. T equals thinking, and F equals feeling. Okay. Yeah. And how I said to you, there will be 4 cognitive function that will be extroverted and 4 that are introverted. In this case, there is 2 that are introverted and 2 that are extroverted. So you will have 4 types of judging a cognitive function, which is extroverted thinking, introverted thinking, extroverted feeling, and introverted feeling. So, by the initial, E is extroverted, and I will be introverted. I'm not gonna write it down. I think it's pretty obvious. Okay. Perceiving. Perceiving is how you react to the world, how you do it in consequence. Are you gonna more plan things, see how things will work? What are the consequences? What if it's gonna happen this? And you analyze like the situation as a whole, and you go a lot more convicted, or you're gonna sense things. This is how it is, or I'm gonna go based on a system, something that I have established, some rules, for example, that I established in my life. So, in these two, in this category, there will be 2 other categories. That is the sensing and the intuition. So sensing, I'm gonna represent it by S. S. Sensing. And intuition by N. Even if it's not N, the first letter, but it goes from here, look. In with this gross N here, tuition. Oops. I'm sorry guys, my pen is not working really well, but yeah, we're gonna do it, I think. Okay. And here, it's the same thing. You will have 2 that are extroverted, each of 2 that will be extroverted, and each of them will be introverted too. So you have extroverted sensing, extroverted intuition, and introverted intuition. And these 8 cognitive functions will have a specific function, and you're gonna use them in some situations. You're gonna have priority on some, and we all have a different order of priority. And this theory is a theory, so people goes beyond that theory. So the theory, it's like actually try to describe what's happening. It's not you take the situation and you put into the system, but rather you use the system to describe what is happening. So you're gonna have people that will have a different order or some exceptions, and that's not a problem. It really confirms that it is a theory, and people don't work like this. We're not robots or systems. So yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you. Now I'm gonna stop writing, and you're gonna write if you need to remember what those connective functions have to do. Yeah, by via. I'm gonna show you the cognitive function. You're gonna take note if you have difficulties on memorizing what I'm saying, okay? I'm gonna try to be clear. I'm gonna go on this order by starting with the judging types and after the perceiving types. After I'm gonna say how it's theoretically the correct order, because there is a type of order which goes with the theme of balances. And yeah, so you're gonna understand, and after with this order that you discovered, which you use more, which you use less, you are prone to a certain type that goes with the same initials as the Myers-Briggs personality type. But we're going later with that. With that. Okay, we're gonna start with extroverted thinking. Extroverted thinking is a cognitive function that you use to take ideas, take systems, take reality, and the statements that you understand in life and what you learn and get on to understand, you ask yourself this: what can I do with this? How can this be practical? Is this a fact? If it's not a fact, I'm not gonna really focus on it. I'm not trying to discover anything. I'm trying to get as much of information I can to make it more practical every other aspect of my life. So it's a person that is pretty pragmatic. So he's not going to be worried about the meaning of life or how systems work. It's going to say, okay, I need to do my business. I need to get through my life. I don't want to complicate it anymore. And I want to stabilize that with the external world. For example, when you use the CE, people that use a lot of this TE cognitive function will be a lot prone to be, for example, entrepreneurs, because they see things as a plan and they try to put things practically. So they're going to say, what's the easiest way to go there? How can I gain more? How can I get more successful? So these people really they really prioritize success. These people who uses a lot of TE. But for example, a person that simply uses it in a certain situation, they can see something and say, yes, but is it gonna work? I'm gonna not waste my time if it doesn't work. So it's an external logic that does not goes into the systems, but rather use these systems to get through life. TI, in the other hand, will take the system or the problem in question and will dissect it. They will try to search what's underneath it. They're going to see all the little pieces, how they work individually, and they will try to understand how it works. So they go into a concept and they say, oh, but why? And they go and question and they try to dissect everything and they try to see each other element of this whole. So this type of people are really prone to theories about opinions, politics, astronomy, mathematics. Yes, in a lot of aspects of their life, but they really search understanding, but for a better understanding of the world. It's not actually to be successful or use this knowledge. This type of people are a lot called nerds, because yeah, they are really going deep into some themes, some things that they like, and actually do nothing about this. Yeah, so this is Tia. And these two are somehow they use both the logic, but you can see that the other is more pragmatic and the other is more questioning. After you're going to the category of feeling, you have the extroverted feeling that when you use it, it's actually to combine with people, with their feeling, cope with their feeling, and try to get into the groups. Try to be included, part of something. So it's a person that will try to please people, will try to include them, and has a really idealistic view of the world, people that use principally this cognitive function. After, for example, A person that simply uses it, but it's not their principle, can say, oh, but the person will feel bad if I do this, so I'm not gonna do it. Or this person actually has a valid point. Can also be this, be open to others' opinion. But for example, FE, I'm gonna go into details after. FE, if someone uses too much, I'm just taking another example of someone that uses too much a cognitive function. This applies to others. You will have inconveniences if you use too much one. These persons that use too much of it will have difficulties on forming their proper opinion. They will be a lot, oh yeah, everything matters. Like, you can be right, I can be wrong, so let's cope together. But they don't really have opinion because they they fear of bothering people, or they fear it's not the right way to deal with people. So yeah, when they take a position, it's really difficult for them to do that. Fi, in the other hand, is a person that is more focused on its own feelings. So, how do I feel about this? What do I prefer? So they go and search into themselves before reacting, perceiving, before reacting to a certain situation. So they're going to see into the lines of emotions and will say, I don't feel about this. I don't feel about the other. Or I prefer this rather than this. This makes me feel better. So it's people that really are aware of themselves and are aware of their own principles too. So yeah, this is, in some words, the judging faction of cognitive function. We're going now into the perceiving. The perceiving, I'm going to start with sensing. Extroverted sensing is really interesting. um, you use it when you are in the moment. You use it to be in the moment, to be with people, and really focused on the present. You don't look, oh, what if it happens this? No, you're grounded. You're where you are, and you're enjoying the moment. These people that use a lot of it wants instant results, can be impatient. They can be impulsive because they just react to what is present, what is happening. So something is going to happen, they're going to say, no, I don't care, I'm going to just do what is now, what I have to do now, and yeah, I don't care, I'm not going to prepare myself. So people can actually fall into that trap, people that use it too much. But the person that uses it normally can just be, okay, I'm not going to worry about the other task, I'm going to focus on what's right now. So they're really intense in a certain way. SI is different, but it has a little bit of sensing too, is more focused on the roots. You base yourself to your past experiences and you say, oh, because of what happened, I established some more rules to have control over my own life, and goes on and practice these rules. So yeah, it happened. Whatever situation, I learned something from it. I go and put into my rules of life, and I'm gonna advance and uh, go with the life with all these principles that I have elaborated in my life. These people crave for control. There are people that want to control predictable things. So if they use too much, they may have difficulties with novelties. They have to change their internal functions, the internal rules that I have elaborated with the past. A lot with the past, what you did, and so they don't really like novelties. They don't really like the new. It makes them fear because they might lose control. After NE is a function that makes you wonder all possibilities. You have a chain of possibilities, and you go into a lot of brainstorming if you use it a lot. But it helps you to brainstorm ideas. It's people that like to innovate, to find solution. You use a lot of this cognitive function to find solutions to the problems. So a person that thinks outside the box, that sees the whole thing. They see little patterns connected everywhere. So it's more this type. And for example, if you use it too much, people, for example, may question their authority, may question the own rules of society. They will try to break them, to change them, and they see rules and principle as limits. So that can be a problem. And yes, it's really focused on the possibilities and the ideas and outcoming of ideas and connecting dots to elaborate something clearer. And I, on the other hand, it is also focused with possibilities, but future possibilities. What could happen? If I do this, what will happen? It's more a long-term vision. What am I gonna be? So these people are more focused on the meaning of things. What is the real meaning behind this? There are people that are a lot more profound, and for example, you see a lot of people with an I dominant that are philosophers. So they're really going to do the meaning of things, and at the same time have a cosmos vision of things, but rather deeper into the subject. How can I say? But one thing is pretty frequent in this cognitive function is the long-term vision. So it's actually see what you're doing now and think what's gonna happen, but not in a way of anxiety. Okay, people that have this type may have anxiety because of using too much of this function, but this function is not about anxiety. It's because it's about planning things. These people can be idealistic, what the future can be. Somehow a little vision, what the future could be. They think of this and plan their life, and somehow they're pretty ambitious planning their life. I'm not saying that actually they plan everything. Okay, it's more like SI that craves for control, but rather it's their curiosity. So that's a little bit of them all. And if you saw correctly, there are some times that I focused on some cognitive function. I haven't choose one specifically. I take it a little bit at random. But I said if you use too much this function, you will have some problems. And if you really look at it, always when I talk about this and the problems are the characteristic of another cognitive function. So for example, I'm going to take you a pretty normal and easier example. For example, SI and NE. Why are these two cognitive functions have something to do with each other? So I said that SI is really focused on the systems and the rules about the past and making everything elaborated for them to control it and for things to be predictable. And I said that someone that uses too much will have an advantage on searching novelties. They will not be able to see outside the box and say, what if I'm wrong? These people will have difficulties because they built this over experience. And after you have people that just go and crumbles it all, it's really difficult for them to change it, to handle changes. What does this remind you of, these difficulties? It reminds you of an E. And why so? So, it's actually because the opposite cognitive function of that zone of perceiving, so it would be SENI and SINE, are opposites. So you have these opposites, you use them, but in consequence, if you use one more, you will renounce of doing another. So for example, if you have the NE really developed, you're really into novelties, you go make ideas and everything, in counterpart, you will have difficulties on being able to do rules. You have your SI less developed, and this can somehow it's not really good. It's really doing for it limits you in some situations. So for example, you can be someone that is really rebellious about rules, and someone says no, but you have to obey it, that's so, and you just go and search conflicts, for example. Or SI, someone comes to you and question, for example, what you believe, and you constantly repush it, or there is a novelty and it does not goes into your principles, you just goes away, you reject it because you're not good with novelties. This goes with all for cognitive function, for example, TI and FE, a person that is really interested in theories and thinking about a lot of aspects on their lives, but critically and rationally, and of what they think of it, they will be less prone to hearing other people, to be part of a group. They will see as outsiders, as weird, as eccentric, or maybe aloof. So you will have in the other sense too, and this goes for everything. So the opposite would be TEFI, FETI, SENI, NESI. And this is what we're gonna base and make an order. Okay? You get it? At first, it seems a little bit crazy, it seems a little bit difficult to understand, but I assure you, after seeing a lot of videos, I think I'm not the only video that you're watching if you're watching this, because it's a really complex theme. But yeah, even myself, after 2 years of researching this, I have a lot that I have a lot of doubts. And this is completely okay, guys. And this is completely okay, guys. Like I was saying, sorry guys, I was filming and after it stopped because my phone was at low charging and I didn't thought of that. But what am I gonna say, and I'm gonna stop the video here, is that it's completely normal for you to feel confused with this. If you really want to know more about yourself, I think this is really interesting, and I'm gonna show you to you guys the order of cognitive function and which type you're associated with. If you want and you like this video and you want me to explain why is it the order it is, you can just tell in the comments and do a little like for me to see if you really want me to do that. I'm gonna explain it to you. I have plenty of time, and I will not end my video with a strange cut. I'm sorry guys, I don't really have a lot of experience of making videos like this. So yeah, just comment if you liked it, if you have any doubts, because I don't really know if I explained it well, guys. Sometimes it makes sense to me, but after it doesn't make sense to others. So just comment, and if you have any curiosity, any idea for improvement, just tell me in the comments. And thank you so much for spending your time on this. It really helped me to share my thoughts and hobbies. So yeah, thank you so much guys. Bye.